Okay, guys, one of the best things about having guppies is they have babies. And today, because I am overrun with babies, and if you look inside this tank, there's still some more in there. If you look closely, you see the bunch of babies in there. Um, when this happens, I like to set up a grow out tank and kind of separate them because you don't want your bioload to get too crazy. So I took about 35 out of here. Yeah, there was that many. There's still babies in there, but we don't want them to be eaten because of usually when there's too many of them, they tend to um, predate their babies. And there's other fish in there too. And there's just not enough food for you to feed them when the bio load is that high. You don't want to mess up your cycle, and you also don't want to um, have them eat the babies because there isn't enough food in there, and that's what usually happens. So what I did was I took them out of here. I have you guys know I have a what I call a fish nook, bunch of small tanks. I actually cut down on the tanks, but I'm actually leaving them set up for this specific reason: either grow out or if they get sick, if they have any issues with aggression. Unfortunately, we did have some aggression issues in the 125 when I moved the fish in there. We have it set up. I will show you guys what it looks like. I'm just going through some issues right now, moving fish around. We got rid of the jaguars because they couldn't play nice. And now I'm having a problem with one of the African cichlids in there who is not playing nice. So she's going to have to go too. But I'm not going to do a video until we get the tank situated. I will show you guys what we did and how it looks. I'm just very frustrated with that situation right now. I got a Baylor shark that has kind of hurt his eye because he kind of freaked out and probably smacked himself into the glass. So we got to do, and I put some decorations in there. He might scrape himself up in that. And now I see that the African cichlid is getting a little aggressive, so we're going to have to move her now. I'm probably going to move both of the African cichlids out of there and then just go South American, peaceful fish in there. If I can't get that to work, then we'll have to start over and get rid. We have places for these fish to go. Anyway, I don't want to get too caught up in that. We're going to make a video on that once we get that tank settled. But right now we're going through some issues, water changes, and constant treating and moving stuff around to see if we can get these fish to get along and to not be so aggressive. Unfortunately, when you mix two types of African cichlids, two types of cichlids is African and South American, they tend to not get along. But I had them in a 55-gallon tank for a long time. I figured that they'd be totally fine, but nope, not totally fine because they're still fighting over, where they want to be. They're very territorial, and I believe the one's a female. So they're even more territorial. Anyway, we'll get back to that tank another time. I'll show you what we did. And like I said, it's an ongoing process that we're dealing with. So we're not going to show that tank until we feel it's ready to be shown. Anyway, so we moved about 35 fish out of here. You can see that the fish are much more active. There's more room in there, more space. And we will. I'm still going to feed them once a day. I don't like feeding twice a day because you can mess up your cycle. You get too much ammonia. So I'm actually doing like a 25% water change today, and then we'll see what we got. But I'm gonna go downstairs and show you guys what we have as far as the babies and how the process is now. Whenever I move fish, I don't just move them into a tank. I take them out, put water in a bucket like that. I don't have the bucket; that's not full, but I'll take the water, siphon it out, and then I actually siphon some babies out with the hose, and then I put them in the bucket with the water, and then downstairs, which we'll go right now. We're still cleaning stuff up here in this house. Christmas, Easter. So we moved some stuff down here in the fish room, in the fish nook. I'm sorry. As you can see, we have, the same setups, but we actually moved the these convicts down here. I had the light off because there's some aggression going on in there. I was told I might have a flower horn in there, so we got to keep an eye on this tank. We're keeping the light off right now. This tank here already has light. We moved all the barbs in here, and the mollies. Actually, these are the I can't think of the name of it. The sailfin mollies. They're in there along with all the other barbs. I had the flying fox in here, but I moved him. He was in that tank. He got beat up, so I moved him out of there. That's one of the issues about moving fish, guys, is when you put them together, you have to keep an eye on them. If they don't get along, you have to move some stuff around. It's probably the most frustrating thing you have to deal with, and most stressful. And I'm stressed right now, so I don't want to get too far into it. But anyway, so we got the polar convicts in here, which we think they are. We don't know. We look like they might have a Terran flower horn that was mixed in. We don't know. We have to keep an eye on that. And obviously we had the platies in here who are doing great. They just had a bunch of babies. You can see them in there right on top there. You can see they had a bunch of babies. And the platies do eat their babies, but I feed this tank a lot because there's not a lot of platies in there right now. And then of course this is what we did. We moved. These are the guppies that were moving. I already started putting some water in here so they could get used to this water that's in here. This water may not be as hard as the other water, so we want to just slowly get these guys acclimated and then put them in this tank. I actually took some snails out of there too. We'll keep that Java moss in there and let these guys grow out. And once they grow out, I might move them back into the tank. I don't know what we're going to do yet. But I almost dropped that phone into the water. Well, you can see there's about 35, 40 babies in here. Once they get bigger, we can put them back in the 40-gallon. I don't know what we're doing yet with the other fish. But so this tank has babies. This one's gonna have babies, and this one has baby angelfish. If you look in there, I got a couple kois in there, black and whites. There's a koi right there. So these guys are going to be growing out. I did have them upstairs in the 15-gallon tall, but the Severums decided to get a little aggressive with the angelfish, so I had to move them out of there, put them in the 10-gallon. I don't know what I'm going to do with them now, but the African, if we move the Africans, we'll probably be able to move the Severums in there with the other two South Americans, the Jack Dempsey and the Green Terror, as long as they don't mess around and fight the other fish. So that's pretty much it, guys. We got this fish still quarantining. He's been quarantining for about a month now. I haven't been able to get that septicemia off him. And this is the 15-gallon here. As you can see, we just have the tetras. And the only other fish tank I have down here is this beta, who we're probably going to move upstairs onto the kitchen counter. This obviously has a bunch of snails. I'm actually breeding snails in here for the puffers because they love them so much. I'll show you real quick all the snail shells they have down here. You can see all the shells that they like to eat. So, in saying that, we will do a video eventually of the garage once we get situated up there. I'm gonna move some fish. I'm gonna move some decorations today. I gotta do another water change. I'm probably gonna have to move the African out of there, but for right now, that's all we got, and we will show you eventually what's going on down there. We just didn't want to show a video yet until we got, until we know exactly what fish are going in there. So I already did about 15 minutes ago. I already put some water in here. So what I do is I just put a little hose. It's a little 10-gallon hose. I actually use this hose for all my water changes. Actually, I got this. blocked off. You see right here, I just Put some water in here from there. If you can see that, guys. Well, anyway, I took the hose out of the water. I just suck out the water and put some water in there. As you can see, so I'll put a little bit, acclimate them, just like that. And then I'll do another one in about, I don't know, 15 minutes. You don't want to go too crazy, but you want at least 45 minutes so they acclimate. And then once we're done there, we're gonna let these babies grow out. You see, there's a bunch of them in there. And like I said, it frees up some space. You know, you always want to have enough bio load or enough filtration for your bio load, like I said. And these guys will take up some more bio load down here, which there was a jaguar in here. The jaguar is gone now. We had to get rid of them because they were just too aggressive in that tank. So, and they're going to get too big. You know, you want to, you know, these fish, you know, when you get fish, especially a jaguar, they'll get about 2 feet. So you want to make sure that they're actually going to go, they're in the 125 right now, because we have a tank at a salon, and then we have a tank over at Vance's house, which is a 280. So eventually they'll probably go into 280 when they get bigger. So they'll be in a good spot. It's probably better for them. If I can't get anybody to leave the balers alone, we will have to move the balers too. I might just start the whole tank over again, and then I might piss off my wife, but we got to do what's best for the fish. Or I might just get rid of all the cichlids together and just leave the baler sharks in there. You know, I'm going to be going to I'm going to be getting a heart transplant any day now, and I can't have aggressive fish. I just don't have anybody who can take care of them, who knows what to do in that situation. So, anyway, I cleared out a spot for right here. We'll get rid of that extension cord. I'm using that for right now. But the 40 gallon and the 20 gallon will go in this spot here, and we'll have all the small tanks downstairs. We haven't done that yet. We haven't done that move yet, but that's what the Nook looks right now. We'll have another 2 tanks down here, and all the 5 gallon and the smaller tanks will be gone. I'm going to be moving the beta upstairs. The 5 gallons I may keep just for babies and snails, but they're not on the system right now. They're on the pump because the pump can handle up to 20 some odd tanks. So once we get the other 2 small tanks down at the 40 and the 20, we'll actually put those guys on the pump too, and then we'll be able to have all the tanks down here on the pump, and then we can unplug some stuff. That's what the plan is, guys, for the fish Nook. We'll have more tanks down here. My wife will have more room upstairs. We're only going to have 3 tanks in the garage, and then we'll have the rest of them down here. I actually counted, I have 13 tanks plus the pond. So we went from 35 all the way down to 12 or 13. I don't count the 5 gallons and those tanks up there because I'm not using those right now. Like I said, I'm only using the beta. I guess if you count the beta, it'd be 14. But all the other ones are just being, you know, I'm still quarantining the 1 gold barb, and of course there's, you know, we have some snails, and the other 2 tanks are empty. So, like I said, once we get all the other tanks, we'll get rid of these probably. What I may do is I may just clear these 2 sections out and just put strictly just storage there. You know, I'm trying to sell some stuff too, so clear more room. Anyway, that's all I got for today, guys. I just wanted to show you the method I use to get these guppies in. I will actually probably when I'm done here, I'm probably gonna just being that I'm gonna quarantine them. I mean, being that I'm taking water from both sides, I may just use that hose to suck up the babies and put the water back into there until it's full. It's kind of hard to get all the babies out of there with a net, but that's the way we're going to do it, guys. You can still use that water because that water, you're mixing the water now. The fish should be used to that. You do actually want to put some in that water because some of this water that I have here is harder. So you want to make sure that they still get acclimated. So I still acclimate my fish even when they're babies. And like I said, that tank is set. We've already been running that tank. We have cycle media in there. And we're going to put the babies in there and let them grow out. until we see what we got, and then we're probably moving back into the big tank, or we may make another small tank. I may just get out of the cichlids altogether and just not do cichlids anymore, and just do peaceful community fish, which I may do, because the aggression is what I don't like. All right, guys. Like I said before, if you can't own them, rehome them. That's what we're doing here. We moved some fish out of here already. If they can't get along with the fish, we move them into different tanks. And if we got to get rid of them, we got to get rid of them. But the only reason why I got a 125 is to move the Baylor sharks out of the 55. And I wanted to move some other fish in there. If they can't play nice, they will be gone into better homes. I don't kill the fish. I put them into a bigger home, a better setting for them, and then we can move on. This is a perfect example of rehoming. You're rehoming these babies, so you create less of a bio load in the tank upstairs, so you don't have to feed as much that tank. The more you feed, the more ammonia you have, and the more you're adept to having issues in the tank with your fish. Anyway, like I said, you guys subscribe, check out the videos. Don't be afraid to acknowledge us, or to recommend us. We do some good things here. I need two more subscribers to hit 300. So if you know people, get them in there, and hopefully we'll grow the channel. All right, guys. See you next time.